In this video, we will explore the intricacies of transitioning from an H-1B visa to an F-1 visa, focusing on key considerations and challenges. We will start with understanding the basic scenario an individual might face when transitioning from an H-1B to an F-1 visa. We will then dive into key considerations, including the pros and cons of different approaches. Additionally, we will provide practical advice and suggestions. Finally, we'll wrap up with a conclusion. We will start by looking at a typical scenario. Imagine you are on an H-1B visa, and your employer has begun the PERM process, but you wish to pursue an MBA in the United States. This ambition requires you to apply for an F-1 student visa. The main challenge arises from the potential conflict between your intent to study, as indicated by the F-1 visa, and your pending application for permanent residency, demonstrated by the PERM process. The guide outlines several key considerations. Firstly, the change of status via I-539 allows you to handle the application within the U.S., simultaneously reducing the risk of denial. Yet, it requires you to cease H-1B employment earlier and restricts travel. On the other hand, consular processing permits continued H-1B employment and more travel flexibility. However, with a pending PERM on file, officers may scrutinize your application more closely due to perceived immigrant intent, increasing the risk of denial. A central concern is the perception of immigrant intent. When you have a pending PERM application, it might signal to visa officials that you plan to immigrate, which could conflict with the non-immigrant intent required for an F-1 visa. Consular officers are trained to assess this potential immigrant intent. Let's test your knowledge. What is a potential downside of consular processing when transitioning to an F-1 visa? A. Restricts travel. B. Continues H-1B employment. C. Riskier due to PERM on file. Or D. Handled within the U.S.? You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is riskier due to PERM on file. Consular processing might be scrutinized more by visa officers, as a pending PERM suggests potential immigrant intent. Here are some pieces of advice to navigate the transition effectively. Make sure to get legal counsel, as they can provide the best guidance for your specific case. Consider what level of risk you're comfortable with in terms of visa denial. Plan your travel carefully, as this could affect your visa process. If possible, explore the idea of deferring your MBA studies, which might simplify the situation. Finally, maintain strong documentation that indicates ties to your home country, which could be beneficial during the visa process. In conclusion, transitioning from an H-1B to an F-1 visa is a complex process, especially when PERM is in progress. Each method has its pros and cons, and legal advice is crucial. Evaluate your risk tolerance and prepare your documentation thoroughly to navigate the process effectively. Thank you for watching our guide on navigating from H-1B to F-1 status. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Feel free to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. We value your input.